straight up, I don't care that the film's being banned. Because it looked like a pile of rubbish. An absolute pile of pony. It is interesting that it's been banned, though. Well, not technically, it has been banned, but it has been pulled. Which technically is a ban. I mean, of all the films that have been pulled or banned, throughout history, this has to be the worst one. Just think about it, you had Exorcist was not banned, but they wouldn't release it on video in the UK for a hell of a long time, until like the turn of the millennium. A lot of films got actually released that never were before. From like The Exorcist, Driller Killer, Cannibal Holocaust, and probably some others. Clockwork Orange, which you could only see on pirate copy. I watched Clockwork Orange on pirate video, tripping my balls off on acid, and that was quite an experience. But anyway, I digress. But The Exorcist, one of the greatest horror films ever made. Clockwork Orange, one of the most brilliant films ever produced. It's Clockwork Orange, for fuck's sake. These are great works. Cannibal Holocaust, well, take it or leave it, really. Reservoir Dogs, which a lot of people rate highly, is a good film. I'm not a Tarantino fan, but they refused to let that onto video for a long time because of the ear cutting scene. There's always weird reasons why films can get banned and aren't released onto video, or whatever it is, the equivalent now. Clockwork Orange was pulled by Stanley Kubrick because of some supposed copycat killings. Child's Play 3, which was banned in the UK for a very long time because they blamed it on the murder of James Bolger. They said they figured it influenced the Venables boy, and the other one that no one talks about. Child's Play 3 is entertaining, tongue-in-cheek. This film looked like ass, man. I had the mispleasure of watching the trailer for it, and I was just like, putting aside the whole liberals versus conservatives type narrative that they got going on, which is, the fact is, it's like you've seen this already 100 times. There's so many films. I can't remember what the film's called, but it stars, I think it's Ice Cube, or is it Ice-T? I can't remember what the film's called, but it's basically they put them on an island and they're hunted down, as sport. There's also a film with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vinnie Jones. That's basically about people being hunted for sport. Of course, there's the Hunger Games. It's similar to The Purge. In fact, it's the people that made The Purge that made it. Was the production company anyway. So it's like there's so many examples. I even remember, I can't remember what influenced me, but something influenced me to write. I remember writing a short story at school about a couple that have gone on the run, and then they end up at this forest where they're hunting people, for the fun of it, killing them with guns. I wrote that when I was like 13, because that's the sort of thing you write when you're 13. Not adults. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, who are these screenwriters they got these days? Are they actual children? Like, it's amazing. Do you know what I mean? So I definitely didn't come up with that idea out of my head. Like, like a lot of ideas you get when you're real young, they're not too original. You're sort of just working your way out. So there must be another film where that happens that came out before I was 13, but I can't, for the life of me, think what it is. But yet, there's another film. There's another one. Hard Target with Jean-Claude Van Damme is pretty much about that. It's Hard Target. It's people pay big money, game hunters to hunt, hunt people, and Jean-Claude Van Damme becomes the big prize winning, target, not prey. He's the one they want to hunt because he's Jean-Claude Van Damme and he's fucking people up, so the price goes up. Say, if you want to hunt this one, it's going to cost you this much because he's hard. and you might die. It's such an unoriginal idea. But someone thought, this is kind of how the thought process goes now. It's going, yeah, but what if we do it like this? I talked before about Hollywood's lack of ideas, and when they think a good idea is go, oh, we're going to do 4 again. Why? Oh, it's going to be a woman. Brilliant. Make Captain America black. We'll make James Bond a woman. As if these are new ideas. It's like, no, it's just an old idea, and you've just gone, oh, but there's a twist on it. It's like, it's just, no. Can you do something else, please? This is what they said. They said, oh, we call it The Hunt. Oh, really? What's that about? Oh, it's people hunting people for sport. Yeah, I think that's been done. Yeah, but it's like totally poignant because it's about the current political climate. Is it? That sounds amazing. Oh yeah, what an original idea. I don't know how you would have thought of doing that. It's like, excuse me. Now, it is interesting that when something gets pulled because they think life is going to imitate art, and because of stuff that's going on in the country, it's kind of interesting when you look at it and go, oh, this film, when they're like, this film is irresponsible, like when they can actually call a film irresponsible. Because the whole thing is like, you shouldn't be banning anything, because the fact is, something's going to make someone do something stupid anyway. Crazy people are just fucking crazy. They don't really need something to sort of spark them off. I mean, anyone who, if you think, that many people would get influenced by a film to go out and do something that reckless and fucking destructive, then we shouldn't have anything. So, I mean, we shouldn't be allowed to see anything. Like, not nothing, because we would do something stupid. You shouldn't be allowed to watch Superman, because you might think you can fucking fly. Even kids who watch Superman, aren't leaping off of tall buildings to try and fly like Superman, because they don't understand yet that you can't fly. But they don't do it, do they? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, no superhero film influenced someone to become, like, Batman didn't inspire people to become, these high-tech vigilantes, except some, well, maybe the occasional idiot. Do you know what I mean? It's how many people are going to get influenced by this sort of stuff anyway? But it is interesting when the government is looking at it from a perspective, not just the government's had something to say about it, but then when a film studio is like, oh, do you know what? This might be a bad idea because of everything that's going on. There's always been all kinds of censorship going on. The thing, like when certain events happen, can also trigger this sort of thing to happen, which I think it does mention in this article. Like 9/11, and there was an album cover years ago that actually depicted a geezer with pushing a plunger and blowing up the Twin Towers. They sort of got rid of that cover because they're going, yeah, that's a bit insensitive. That's not going to be, it's not going to be good. Certain films have been scrapped because of events happening, because it's like, oh, it's too soon, or it's too close to this, and they think it'll be in bad taste. But Universal Pictures has pulled the release of The Hunt following the series of mass shootings and criticism from US President Donald Trump. The Hunt, a satirical film. Now, nothing about it looks satirical. I mean, they probably call it a satirical film, but it's just an excuse for just senseless violence. Like violent films, it's either violence is artistic or it's real, but like there's certain things that certain ways you do violence on screen that is good. This is just, oh please. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's just, stuff made by people with no scruples, just like going, yeah, that'd be cool if this happens and this happens, yeah. It's like you really are just it's not art. It ain't art, and it's not even blockbuster. If it's just a big spectacle, like Avengers or something, where it's just like, look at this sensory overload of nonsense. It's like, okay, fair enough. It's like a theme park ride. But this kind of thing is just like who does this serve? This stuff is just bullshit. All I can call films like this is just crap that no one needs. Like, you can make it and people can like it, but no one needs it. In the hunt, so it's a satirical film in which liberals hunt Trump supporters and kill them for sport, was due to be released on 27th September. Marketing of the film had already been put on hold following the El Paso and Dayton shootings. Universal said the decision was made after thoughtful consideration. Hunt's storyline is intended to reflect the divided nature of US politics. But the thing is, it's done in such a crass and shit way. You know what I mean? Like, it's just such a pathetic and ill thought. There's just no real good thought behind it. You could have done it in a way more clever way. Why can't you do something clever that reflects the current political situation? But no, it's like, no, we just have this hunting movie where people get their faces blown off, dude. And it's like, just fuck off. Like, you're supposed to be adults. Why are adults making shit like this? Do you know what I mean? I'm all up for people finding their inner child and writing a children's movie, but when you're writing stuff, if you write something, as I said earlier, that looks like it's written when you were 13, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Why are you getting paid all this money? It's baffling. And the storyline is intended to reflect the divide. So one trailer for the film was pulled by ESPN. It was said to open with the sound resembling an emergency broadcast signal. According to the Hollywood Reporter, the liberal characters refer to their prey as deplorables, a term used by Hillary Clinton to describe some of Mr. Trump's fans in the run-up to two with double O's. That's not how it's done. The 2016 elections. Without naming the film, Mr. Trump tweeted about an upcoming Hollywood release. He said the movie coming out is made in order to inflame and cause chaos. They create their own violence and then try to blame others. They are the true racists and are very bad for our country. Just say what you think, why don't you, for once? A statement from Universal said, "We stand by our filmmakers and will continue to distribute films in partnership with bold and visionary creators like those associated with this satirical social thriller, but we understand that now is not the right time to release the film." I mean, it looked like a pile of cack, but then it is the trailer. It would be a shame if actually because trailers are just crap nowadays anyway. I mean, movies are crap, but like trailers are even worse. Because they just don't know how to, like, all trailers have to be the same instead of just the film being good. But the thing is, it could be a situation where maybe it's actually quite clever and quite good. It's possible. It doesn't look like it though, and I think Blumhouse, from their sort of record of films that they make, as far as I can see, are just not that good. But it would be a shame if it was actually really thought-provoking and funny and good and actually done well. Like, you could do it well, under the guise, because I think that is some way that you would sell a real good satirical film, is to have it all out action. There's many films like that, from like Robocop or Starship Troopers. If Paul Verhoeven made it would be good in there. Come on, like, he made big Hollywood, guns and tits and all the rest of it, movies that were fucking works of satirical brilliance, and also great stories and great action films to watch. Like, really pulled that shit off well. Do you know what I mean? But I don't think most of these directors that come in, I don't even know, they're all nameless and faceless, not making anything good. But it is interesting that they pull it thinking that, now's not the right time, there's a lot of tensions going on. Which is an interesting reason, that, like, political tensions. Like, when was the last time you heard about in, like, a Western civilization, discounting maybe the tragedy in the Balkans and so forth? I think in the Western Hemisphere, in the Western world, in the first world, when was the last time you heard about them pulling I'm going to say work of art, but it's not art, is it? It's not art, it's just a film. There's a difference between art and movie, and just something you stuff popcorn in your face and go, no, good, yeah, kill him. Like, it's different. But when was the last time you heard about something getting pulled because of fears of political tensions? It's interesting. Maybe Tim Pool is right, and there is a civil war coming. A different kind of civil war, a modern day low-key shit version of a civil war. Maybe so.